So here's the situation. The reason we bought that company in Wisconsin is because they have the genetic expression database. For 35 years, they've been out there gathering genetic material. This is like, before most people were even thinking about genetic material, right? So they kind of have the Rosetta Stone when it comes to the genetic expression database. And that's why we bought them. So we had the key, so we could tell when we got to the right expression, okay? So that's the first part of the story. Okay, the second part of the story, I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys just go to the next slide for me manually there. Just put your cursor on it and just click it, okay? And we'll bring that up. So the second part of the story has to do with a company in Silicon Valley, California. And the name of this company is Affymetrix. And they invented some technology where they call it a gene chip. It's an integrated circuit that can actually receive strands of DNA. You can embed them into the top of the actual chip. Some people call it an Affy chip, made by Affymetrix, right? You can take that chip and you can plug that in. There's the chip right there. Well, it was there. There we go. You can take that chip and you can plug it in. That's great. Leave it right there. That's perfect. You can plug it into this reader, and the software will analyze the expression of that particular DNA. And it ends up looking like this. So here is a heat map that is generated from the chip by the software. And you can see on the heat map some of these genes are red. And by the way, there's 52 genes represented here. Every one of these slices is a gene. So the red ones are hot. They're upregulated. The green ones are cold. They're downregulated. And that's the way it should look when you're young. That's what those genes should express themselves like when you're young. Because of those environmental factors, we get to middle age, and that expression sometimes is almost 180 degrees from where it should be. We're just not expressing our genes, the DNA, the way we should. So here's what Nu Skin can do. They can take formulas of new product, and they can feed them to test groups of people. And after 90 days, they can take DNA samples and plug them in the chip. And then they can see if that formula was able to reset that expression so it acts more like it did when you were young. So it matches better. And this is a trial and error process. We go through multiple formulas until we see which combination actually works on that particular set of DNA that we're trying to influence. Isn't that cool? They can do that. And we can do this for the skin in your face. We can do it for your energy. We can do it for your eyes eventually, your heart, kidney, your liver, your bones, your muscle. And we can even do it for your fat. We're just getting started with this AgelocScience, right? So lots of great things. Look at this lady here. You can see over about a 90-day period, the differences in her face, her skin of her face. And, I'm sure you've seen multiple ones with the galvanic spa, right? Just really awesome. And let's talk about the fat one for just a moment. Are you guys doing okay with this, or should we go on? Is it okay? Or are you bored? If you're bored, we'll just bail on this and go to the next point and we'll wrap it up. Okay, let me just take a minute and let's talk a little bit about this, because I think this is one of the most important new things that we've done as a company in a long time, and I think you kind of missed it. I don't think people here really got TR90. Okay, TR90 stands for Total Redesign in 90 Days. And this is a body reshaping system. Don't ever refer to this as a diet. This is not a diet. Diets are dangerous. In fact, diets don't work. They actually make you fatter. In America, we know because we diet a lot and we're really fat, okay? So diets are a disaster. You really don't ever want to diet again, because here's the facts on a diet. When you step on the scale and you see you've lost a whole bunch of weight, on a diet, approximately half the weight you lose comes from muscle tissue on your body, okay? And the other half is maybe fat. That is really dangerous, because what happens is you'll eventually go off your diet and you'll be eating the regular calories, and now you have a smaller engine to burn the calories, so you store on more fat. Muscle is the engine that burns the calories. You've probably never heard this before, and I apologize that I don't know the equation in kilos, but I know it in pounds. Well, I'm in England. Don't you do pounds here? Yeah. Oh, good. Like, this will work great then. I've been doing this for like 7 days, and people are like, where's the kilo deal? All right, so write this down, because I'm sure you've probably never heard this before, but you're going to get it. You'll connect these dots in the next couple minutes. You'll see why this is really important. Every pound of muscle on your body burns 6 calories an hour. Write that down. Every pound of fat on your body burns 2 calories an hour. It can hang there real efficiently. Disgusting, isn't it? Well, God made you that way, so you got some storage when famine hits, right? Problem is, most of us have too much storage. So it's really more important to have muscle than even worry about the fat. Because if you have enough muscle, you'll burn the fat off anyway. Okay? So body reshaping is all about having muscle maintained or even grow during the process of reshaping, not lose it, and stripping fat off your body. So the next thing you need to know is to go home and take your scale and throw it away. Because the scale means nothing. It's completely irrelevant when it comes to whether your body's healthy or not. We don't care what the whole blob weighs, okay? That doesn't matter. All we care about is 2 things. We only care about how many pounds of muscle is on your body and how many pounds of fat are on your body. That's all we care about. And now there's new devices today that tell you those 2 things. That's the new way of measuring your body composition. Okay, 20 years from now, we'll look back and we will laugh that people use scales to mean anything. Okay, that's how irrelevant they really are. So, when you think about body reshaping, don't expect to see a whole bunch of pounds lost on the scale. But expect to see your clothes start to fit totally different. Because fat is that thick, bulky thing. And when you strip fat, the inches really zoom. I mean, you really change your body shape and your clothes the way they fit, okay? But you won't see a whole bunch of change on the scale. If you see a whole bunch of change on a scale, what does that mean? You're stripping muscle. That's what that means. That's why scales are really misleading, okay? Muscle's really thin and really dense. Muscle's dense and heavy. Fat is bulky and takes up lots of space, okay? So that's how you need to focus and think about this. Not a diet, body reshaping. Okay, so tonight I brought some pictures with me from my own private collection. And I want to show these to you. Lars did a great job here too. Lars stripped fat and he added muscle, but look at this guy. This is a transformation over 90 days. This young man is a really sick young man. See this belly he's sporting right here? This is called visceral fat. You ever heard of that term before? Visceral fat is the mid-body fat that men carry right here on their gut, and women carry it about 1 foot lower right here. Right? You need to get rid of that kind of fat because it's a health risk. It leads to syndrome X. It changes your blood chemistry. It leads to diabetes. That young man right there, if he didn't change, he'll be a diabetic. And diabetes is exploding in this world. It's out of control because of the obesity problems, right? 30 days later, look at him. You can start to see the muscle showing through. You almost start to see his abs a little bit. You can see his triceps a little bit. Then you get to the far side over there, and after 90 days, look at him. He kept his muscle, and he stripped the fat, right? Look at this guy right here. 9% body fat reduction, 5% lean muscle gain. I mean, changed his whole body. Okay, look at this lady, one of our great leaders, Peggy Kroc. Now, she knows I'm using her picture. You don't have to tattletale on me, okay? Peggy had a pretty good tire going right there, right on her midsection, that dangerous, dangerous visceral fat. So, look at her. After 90 days, stripped almost all of it off. And she's now on her second 90 days of TR90 to finish it off and really trim it up, right? Look at Jeffrey, one of our leaders as well. Pretty good pot going there, Jeffrey. Stripped it right off. Totally changed, right? Even his neck. Look at his face even, right? Changes. Look at this guy. Put on 7 pounds of muscle in 70 days on TR90. He actually added muscle. If you want to gain muscle, great program to go on, right? This is where I want to connect the dots for you. Can we just do the math together real quick? Okay, every pound of muscle burns 6 calories an hour. 7 pounds times 6 calories. Do they teach math in the UK? 42 calories an hour that he's now burning that he wasn't burning before. I'm not that good at math, so let's just do 20 hours. 42 more calories for 20 hours a day is 800 more calories that he can either eat and not put on weight or just stay where he's at and strip fat. You starting to get it? When do you peak? When do you peak on your muscle? Age 30. 30 is your peak of your natural muscle creation on your body. After age 30, you start to lose muscle. Age 40, you start to lose 1% a year of your muscle tissue. That's why if you don't do resistance training, listen to me close, you have to lift some weights 3 times a week, guys, and you got to do it the rest of your life. Because if you don't, here's what happens. The natural genetic programming is that you'll lose 1% a year after 40, so your muscle comes down. You don't normally change your diet intake much, so your fat just comes up. Your body composition goes from muscle to fat as you get older. Has anybody here been around 80, 90-year-old seniors? How much muscle do they have on their shoulder? None. It's like bones. They lose all their upper body muscle over time. They lose their butt. They lose their thighs. They're just really no muscle. Then they get unstable. They tip over. They break their hips, and it's over. I'm just telling you, it's actually not very funny, but that's exactly what happens to people, right? That's why you have to do training, you guys, and you need a product that actually is geared to sustaining muscle. AgeLock TR90 does 2 things. It's got AgeLock components that help you reset muscle genes so you can build muscle easier, you keep muscle. And it helps to reset your fat genes so you don't store fat as readily. You can strip it. That's the difference, right? Look at this, probably the best example of body reshaping I can show you. Now this lady weighed 1 pound more at the end of 90 days than when she started. Now if she went to a traditional diet center or a diet shop, they would say that's a colossal failure of a diet. You gained 1 pound. You're supposed to lose weight on a diet. How like misguided is that thought process, right? She totally reshaped her body in 90 days. Okay? Are you starting to figure out what makes you sexy? What makes you sexy? Muscle. Muscle is what makes you sexy. That's the lines, the definition, you know, the shape, the form. It comes from muscle. What does it mean to be skinny fat? That's a new term for you. What does it mean to be skinny fat? Skinny fat means you go on a diet first, you lose weight, your friends are like, oh, you look so good. And you say to yourself, yeah, I look good with my clothes on. But if you were to see me with my clothes off, you would see weird bulges in places I don't really like them. Because diets destroy muscle, so you sag and bag all over the place. That's what it means to be skinny fat. So it's pretty obvious now that the truth's getting out. Diets are toast. Nobody's ever going to do a diet again. It's just the stupidest thing you can do. It's all about body reshaping. Realize you heard it first tonight, right here from New Skin. Okay? We're always on the cutting edge of figuring this stuff out. Remember, you heard it first that you should throw your scale away right here. Because it's coming, and it's going to be a huge wave in the next 10 years. Everybody's going to switch over to body composition. Okay? All right. Look at this man. This guy had his baby, and he's doing great. Notice his arm. Look at the arm here versus his arm right here. A little bit of a difference. A little more muscle, right? Look at this guy. You know, without the tattoo, you'd say it was a different person. Look how lean. Isn't that amazing? Look at this one. Side shot before, side shot after. Back shot before, back shot after. Strip the fat. Keep the muscle, right? Look at Charlie. Oh, one of our fearless leaders. Most people would say he's in pretty darn good shape right here anyway on day one, right? But holy smokes, look at 90 days of TR90. Talk about stripping fat and adding muscle. By the way, he's a lot happier too. Look at that. Look at this one. This is a great example of body reshaping. Same weight when she started on the day she finished, same weight. Totally reshaped her body. Isn't that great? Healthy now, right? Look at that one. Strip the fat, keep the muscle. Read that little caption on the bottom right there, you know. I'm a busy mom. I don't have time. Right? Look at this one. This one's a great one. This lady's about 55 years of age. Look at her arm right here before TR90. You see her arm? See the skin right here? Look at her arm right here. What's that? Oh, a little tricep showing up there. Little line, little definition. Yeah. You sick of your arms flapping in the breeze? Start doing some exercise and get on TR90, right? And look at her back right here. I mean, you know, she's got some bulges here on the bra strap. She's got some saddlebags here. Just strip those babies right off. I mean, look at that after. That is remarkable, isn't it? 90 days. Look at this guy. I met this gentleman in person. He lives in North Carolina. Does he look like a totally different person? Totally different. And look at this lady. Look at her face. Look at her stomach and her legs, you know. Look at her here. 90 days. That's called body reshaping. That's what it's all about. Okay, we're done with products and science, all right? Did you write down anything I said about products and